or an event attended by the former deputy president being raided by goons. It happened in Limuru. It happened at a church service in, I think, Meru, where the spouse of the former deputy president was attending an event. And now we're seeing it again in Nairobi. Definitely there is a pattern which involves politicians.
Thank you, Fred. You know, Fred, we all know very well that churches are sacred places. And I don't think there is any justification, anything can justify why somebody should push violence to a church. From where I sit, I'll call this just people who don't know what they are doing. Because on a serious note, we are all politicians here, and we do compete. But even as we compete, we are not enemies. We are only competing for purposes of securing that position. And I don't think as a country we need to go to that extent where we use all means to push our opponents, either out of church or whatever it is. But for me, I see a situation where, you know, when you decide to use violence, I always believe the brain work as shut. That because if you are, the reason why we are given brains is to be able to sit down, discuss issues, and because we have brains, sort them out in a very what would I call it? In a way that you don't have to use physical means. Mm-hmm. But I know this is a situation where now, there's talk about politicians being behind it, but even if there were no politicians, I think anybody who pushes violence to a church needs to sit down and rethink that approach. As you say, there seems to be now some consistency in terms of what is happening, and I think really whoever is planning should stop it. This is not the way to go. Mm-hmm. We've seen cases where a lot of us are going to church and trying to behave in church the way we would behave in markets. Fred, I want to assure you, Kenyans have a lot of challenges. They are carrying a lot of burdens. And anytime somebody walks into a church, they're looking for peace, some relief. And then when I'm seated there with my problems and you come in and then you start pushing violence to that, you are making the situation very worse. I remember at one point we had a pastor, my pastor would say, if you are in church and you see somebody dozing off, don't disturb them. Because maybe that's the only place they can get some peace to be able to do. So you see that situation. So the thing is, you know, people find a lot of peace, and I'm sure Mongatare will agree with me. When you go to church, you just want to relax and do you know God is now controlling everything there. So let's not go to that level. I don't want us to go to that direction.
Okay.
Kenyans, please stop.
All right. Yeah.